My name is Danette Goodyear, and we love putting these classes on for you guys because we get to hear from awesome leaders like Mary Mick, Chef Mary Mick, Chef. That'd be Chef Mary Mick. So, are you guys happy to be here? This is our, This is our last class for 2018. Can you believe that? Who is that? I know, I'm getting younger by the moment. So, I'll have you shut off anything that might embarrass you. That includes me. Can you make sure mine's turned off, please? Thank you. And we are going to have a great time cooking tonight, but we're also going to have a great movie night. So, little popcorn, little Eric Worre. So, let me tell you what we're going to be hearing tonight. I've been wanting to do a movie night with this movie for a couple years, so tonight's the night. So this is Eric Worre's The Rise of the Entrepreneurs. The world is changing faster than ever. As we know, technology is accelerating and job security is declining and income inequality is increasing. So people are overworked and underpaid. Who feels overworked and underpaid? I don't. I am not raising my hand. Right, there's less time and less freedom, right? It's hard to get here. It's hard to make things happen. So Eric Worre is going to tell us tonight about our changing economy and how that has risen up the entrepreneurship. I heard a crazy stat on the radio a couple weeks ago that it's like within the next 10 years or something, 70% of the people will be working for themselves. Isn't that crazy? Amazing. That was a crazy stat, I thought. What's that? That's right. Exactly right. So the fastest, most dependable and controllable way to become wealthy is to own your own business, right? So this documentary gathers today's best experts and thought leaders to forever change how you view work and health. So it was very impactful when I saw it. I'm like, our peeps got to see it. So we're happy to have you tonight. So tonight, we are going to learn so much from Chef Mary Mick. I'm excited because I'm hoping some of your enthusiasm in the kitchen will rub off on me.
Well, and as all of you have already seen, and you'll see on your chair, if it doesn't, you can now officially hire me for one of 4 packages to come into your kitchen and get you a little more rounded out, fired up, you know.
For us, that'd be good.
Well, for you I might.
All right.
For you I might.
So we have 2 things going on, as you might have seen when you came in, and Mary's going to go through them a little more, but I'm just going to say the bare minimum here. But she's so generously given her time and talents. You saw she has a new cookbook out there, that she literally got a week ago.
Yeah.
And that is hot off the presses. It's her new holiday cookbook. And all the proceeds tonight will go directly to Feed My Starving Children, to feed hungry people all over the world with their nutrient-dense manna packs. And I don't know if you follow us on social media. Jim and I were in Haiti 3.5 weeks ago. He just got back from Cambodia and Vietnam yesterday morning. So if you have to, Jim, over here. Yeah. So
I'll give you
try to keep awake tonight,
Jim. You'll be all right.
But we were in Haiti with Feed My Starving Children, and it is an incredible organization. Just in Haiti, which is a half of an island, we supply 100 million meals a year just to that part of the world. So this is very exciting because we actually have 2 weeks ago, we had our grand opening for the Feed My Starving Children. It's actually a permanent packing site. So I am lining up. Tomorrow will be the day I'm picking the day. It is going to be in February on a Saturday, and I'm booking out the whole place for the whole day, and it's going to be Young Living Day at packing site at Feed My Starving Children. And so you can bring your families to come pack, and kids as young as 5 can do that. And so we are going to have a fantastic day from 9 in the morning to 9 at night. And we're going to show them what Young Living does for people, right? So, gosh. Yes, so that's it. And then we have tickets you can buy out there, and the donation goes to Hope for Justice. Who's aware of that? That's what Jim was in Cambodia and Vietnam riding the bike for. Fantastic organization that we work with through the Young Living Foundation, and we get to help end modern slavery. And so they did a 250-mile bike ride from Cambodia to Vietnam, or through Vietnam. And so it was an amazing ride. And so you can follow them, HFJ, Hope for Justice Extreme, hashtag that. You can see all the good things. But Mary tonight with your donations for that. So it's $5 a ticket or $20 for 5 tickets. Bargain, half the price, right? Or you can actually go on to the youngliving.org, younglivingfoundation.org, and you can go in there and donate right on the website and just show them, and they'll give you your tickets. But what she's going to be drawing for tonight is a 2-hour in-home culinary coaching session.
In your home.
In your home. Like, who needs that? Yeah. So all the proceeds will certainly be going to Hope for Justice. So what we'll do tonight, because like for Feed My Starving Children, what I'll have her do is when she totals all that up, she'll post it on the Goodyear for Health Facebook page. You guys all on that? And she'll post, because it's 22 cents a meal, serves a meal. And so we'll show you how many meals you guys gave tonight. And then we'll also do the same for the Hope for Justice, right?
Yeah.
So we are going to have a terrific time. So thank you very much.
I'll take it. This is a holiday gathering in the end.
That's right. Mary. Oh, you'd think I got off a plane from Asia yesterday. But no. But we are thrilled to have you. Thank you for, look at all the prep she's done.
Thrilled to be here.
Oh my gosh. So she's going to be giving away some delicious Young Living food, and we're going to be giving away Gary's Ancient Einkorn book. If you've not read this book yet, it's fantastic. You can actually get it in the VO, right, and add it to your, but somebody's going to go home with it tonight. But thank you, Mary. We appreciate you, and welcome.
And thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for having me. And thank you all for being here. Woo. It has been a little while since I've been here. Some of you know me. Some of you know me well. Some of you may not know me at all. So, when Danette asked me to come in and do this class, my redness went right off into left field. I've been a chef now, I'm going to date myself. I have been, a culinary professional now for 25 years. I started cooking in restaurants, officially for pay, at 15 years old. I started formal training at 16, did a 2-year program, half days in addition to my high school studies. Got out of there, went to culinary school, graduated from a culinary school in Vancouver, British Columbia, where I was classically French trained. Got done there, was invited back to teach where I had been a student in my original culinary program at 16 and 17. So I taught culinary arts for the state of New York for a while. I've cooked in various restaurants. I've been a private chef to multiple families. And now I play private chef to my husband and our now almost 16-month-old son, who, I have to do it this way. Normally I'm in keynote. There we go. Oh, let's see. We can't forget that disclaimer, right? I'm not a medical professional. And the information presented herein is not intended to treat, cure, diagnose, prevent any disease or illness. If you feel you have a medical condition, please seek help. Not mine. The recipes in this presentation are for use with therapeutic, Young Living, grade essential oils only. Is labeled for use. Vitality, thank you, FDA. Secondary disclaimer. This, my other disclaimer. I think I have a few moms in this room who can sympathize. I am a new-ish mom. This is Maddox. He will turn 16 months old on Friday. I may be prone to yawning because it's almost my bedtime. Excitability around other adults because this is the most adults I've seen in a room in a long time, y'all. In a long time. Making references to both wine consumption and lots of Young Living supplements. Thank God for my supplements. If I didn't have them, I'd be a hot mess. And totally oversharing about this big guy, and I call him big because I have to say, This little guy right here, he is pure as the driven snow. Pure, pure, pure. And he is oily. And 2 or 3 days ago, I took him in for a checkup. It's 16 months old. He is now 32 pounds and 2 feet 10 inches tall. I will take my award whenever you want to give it to me. I feel like I'm doing something extra special. And he is happy, he's alert, he is a force of nature, this child. And he is mine and my husband Matt's pride and joy. And he is the single biggest reason that I haven't been here in a while, because I've been really focused on being a good mom. So that said, Daddy's putting him to bed tonight. I can get time with the adults. So we'll move right on to our first recipe. Now, when I started to say, when Danette asked me to come and do this class, I started to go off into left field. Really complicated recipes, side dishes and desserts and all these different things. And I spent some time in prayer and in contemplation and reflecting. I do a lot of reflecting. And over time, I started to think about, what do people say to me when they say, hey, what do you do for a living? And I tell them. And there's a few things that are those predominant things that people say. After oh, that's cool. There's a lot of apprehensiveness that comes with being in the kitchen. I usually hear things like, oh, I wish I knew how to do that. Or I wish I could be like you. Or I hear, I don't like to cook. And usually when that's said to me, there's noticeable cringing. People are bracing themselves for me to somehow kind of chastise them. Especially, I'm going to play this card, especially as women. Because as a woman, you're supposed to like to be in the kitchen and doing other womanly things. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, you don't have to like being in your kitchen, although it is a daily necessity. So what I wanted to do for all of you here, for all of your teams, and for all of the other people out there who want to become familiar and comfortable with vitality oils, because it's a new thing we're not used to. So I wanted to give you some very simple, straightforward recipes to get you comfortable. Once you kind of master these, then take those next steps. Okay? Sound good? Okay. I'm going to have to start interacting, y'all. All right, so the first one we're going to start with, I'm trying to not get in the light. I've been told not to get in the light. We're going to start with what I call my Tangerine Dreams sanding sugar. Sanding sugars for predominantly pastry chefs, but professional chefs, are finishing sugars. These are things that you can sprinkle on top of your oatmeal, or your einkorn berry cereal, which is quite good. I've had that recently. You can put it on top of sugar cookies. You can put it on all kinds of different things to add, a little extra je ne sais quoi. But they're usually quite simple. You do want a grainier sugar. In this case, I just used organic cane crystals. I also wanted the ingredients that I have you using to be pretty readily available. There's a lot of people that live in a lot of areas where it's kind of more challenging to get some of these ingredients. So, moving right along. Quite simple. Sugar. Very clean hands, by the way. I'm going to do this with no gloves. When you work as a chef at the level that I have, you don't wear gloves. I'll probably share some other stuff that might scare you, but is true along the way. You're welcome. Yeah, you don't. No. Mm-mm. So this vanilla powder, I have taught about this vanilla bean powder for a while now. Vanilla extract, even organic. It's nasty. I just can't bring myself to even use it. This is something that for decades chefs have known about. This is simply organic, dried vanilla beans crushed up. That's it. Nothing else. So you use about half of the amount of this as you would vanilla extract. There's none of those nasty additives. You do get that pretty vanilla bean fleck in whatever it is you're making. So that's nice. So that is vanilla bean powder in there. It's readily available, health food stores, Amazon. Amazon's where I get mine. It's like Christmas come early at my house all the time. So you put that vanilla powder in one side of your bowl. On the other side, oils. 3, 4, and 5. I drip freely. I have said before and I will say again, I never, I'm going to say never, use the toothpick swirl. I'm not doing it. I'm just not. I'm not doing it. And in designing these recipes, and any recipe I will ever put out there for you, I'm not going to have you do it either. Forget about it. In fact, I design these recipes, and I do design others as well, or formulate them. If you get an extra drop of something in, it's okay. That's part of being comfortable with this, because these are different viscosities, and like with the sugar, as you drip it in, it clumps up. If you get a drop or two too much, you can dig it out if you'd like and just get rid of it. But I want you to be comfortable, not scared. So let's see, 2 drops of orange. And if you like a little more citrus, go ahead and add a little more oil. I am not going to pop up at your kitchen window and chastise you for adding a little more oil, I assure you. So clean hands, what you're going to do is take those beautiful drops of your Vitality oils, and you're going to rub. That's what chefs call it. You rub that in. Just rub it between your fingers. Get it in there nice and good. And then you can start to just bring that vanilla in from the side. And then I should probably, let's scooch this up. Put something underneath to catch, because you don't want to lose any of that goodness. Funnel this in. I keep a series of these cute little stainless steel funnels in my kitchen drawer, along with measuring spoons and some of my little stuff. They're really nice to have on hand. They work quite well. I'm just going to dump. There we go. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is take this. This will make up a couple of jars. I'm going to set this last little bit here behind me for now. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to start with you. And you can pass that around. Go ahead, smell. If you want to sprinkle a little on your hand and taste it, go for it. I just think it would be wrong to keep it up here to myself. You can sprinkle that on whatever you want. Like I said a few minutes ago, I've done it on top of the einkorn berry cereal, the cooked like porridge cereal that's on the back of the package. That's really nice. You can put that, if you want to do that on top of some like sugar cookies, shortbread for holiday time, things like that. Anything you'd sprinkle a sugar on. I actually had a friend who's here tonight, but I will not out her. When she asked me, what's in the book? And I said, well, I've got this and I've got that. And I've got some standing sugars. They're like finishing sugars. And she goes, oh, you mean the stuff you put like on the rim of the margarita glass? Yes. Yes. Go nuts. I'm an Irish girl. What can I say? That's one of the reasons her and I are friends. So the next one that I'm going to show you is simple as well. It's actually one less ingredient because there's one less oil. So there again, same cane sugar crystals. And please do as much organic, raw, all that as you can. The cleaner, the better. This is some raw organic cocoa powder. Lots of antioxidants in there. And peppermint oil. Gotta love some peppermint. And this is 1 drop. Because our peppermint oil is legit, right? A little trick that I have learned with these is that, if you don't know this already, you probably do, but in case you don't, the hole in the middle is not where the oil comes out. There's a little tiny hole on that kind of inner ring. Well, there's not holes all the way around. So what you can do is kind of roll these in your fingers a little bit and just do it gently, and you'll see the oil start to kind of bead up there and drip off. Go slow. Just go slow with your oils. So there again, you want to rub that peppermint in, just like you did the tangerine and the orange. Get your cocoa powder in there. There's no need to sift your cocoa powder in this if you're worried about those little clumps, because the graininess of your sugar is going to help you break up the cocoa. Oh yeah. Your remote's going to smell like... I've got thieves. I'll clean it off when I'm done. So, thank you for keeping me on track, honey. So, there again. Just put it in your jars. Now, this recipe, I'll tell you, especially when it comes to peppermint, is you can... I'd say you could go to tripling this. If you go beyond tripling this, you're going to have to play with your peppermint oil a little bit to get the right amount. And that's typical of recipes formulated for home use. That's another common thing that people talk to me about is, oh, I've got this great recipe, and I've been able to double it, but boy, if I triple it, it just, goes south. It's because your recipes are not formulated to typically be more than doubled, and that's if you're lucky. When you work as a professional chef, I think that's on there okay. Our recipes are specifically formulated most times to make 1 or 1,000 of the same thing consistently. But that's a whole nother ballgame. I should start down here. I'll start with you. There you go, honey. All right. So simple, right? How many of y'all think you could manage that at a make and take? Good? Good? That's what I want. Yes. You can say that loudly. You go right ahead. You go right ahead. That's what I want. And I think it's probably time to give away a prize. Who wants to win a prize? So, now I've shown you 2 different recipes. And I will, let's do this. clean off this poor remote. Okay, so look at these two for just a moment. We got tangerine, we've got orange, and we've got peppermint. So please raise your hands to answer the question. And this is a two-part answer. How are these oils extracted? You in the blue.
From the right, tangerine and orange.
Keep going. There's a second part to the answer. You got it. Come on up here, honey. What's your name? Christine. Hi, Christine. There you go. You're welcome. All right, moving right along. This I didn't pre-measure. This is easy stuff. There again, keep in mind, if you, we're even going to skip that stuff. I'm going to make this even easier for y'all. So you've got light agave. You're all probably pretty familiar with this. Walmart. Made me cringe to go into Walmart, but I did it because I love you so much. $10. $10 at Walmart, so that's pretty good. I got one of these little bottles. Let's go right over here. Tea time agave nectar. So 4 ounces, half a cup, 4-ounce bottle. Great place, of course, to get many bottles if you're going to be doing a make and take is someplace like Amazon. There's some other vendors out there too where you can get a lot of glass bottles. So you want to grab yourself one of these. Do you have a question, honey? You can ask questions. I'm good with questions. Sure. You can. The reason I did not use honey, raw, local Texas honey, is because, and I'll say this, put it this way, some of the good properties of your oils can diminish the good properties of your honey. Does that make sense? Okay. Because we get to, Sorry?
Specifically with cooking with them or just overall? Like take your oils with them?
If you... you can take your oils with honey all day long. Right. But if you mix your oils and you let it sit, because this is a product that's going to sit for a little while. Yeah, your honey's still edible and still delicious, but yeah. You're going to lose some of that goodness. But not with this. Another, attribute to agave is it's low glycemic, so we're not going to have those adrenal issues, things like that. So it's just a healthy alternative. But if you want to substitute honey, absolutely, go right ahead. Big fan of honey. I go through lots and lots. So I am going to, and I'm missing, where's my orange? There's my orange. Bergamot. And I'm just going to put these right in the bottle. Okay, so you can do this one of two ways. You can go ahead, drip them right in the bottle, add your agave, gently, mix it back and forth, and cap it. If you want to put it into a glass measuring cup, do it that way, swirl it around a bit with a whisk, and then pour it in. You can do it that way too. If you get an extra drop or two in, it will be just fine. 2 drops of bergamot. Big fan of bergamot myself. 3 drops of lemon. Lemon is a little bit thinner, so that's going to come out a little faster than your bergamots. 2 drops of orange. Did I say? Oh, good grief. I told you it's my bedtime. So 3, 3, and 2. Set these over here. So you've got all your oils. Take your agave carefully, slowly. If it starts getting a bit full in your funnel, just pick it up a tiny bit. Let a little air in there. I got the agave at Walmart. The glass bottles, well, the recommendation I made was that you can get all kinds of different glass bottles in bulk on Amazon. These particular bottles I bought from a very small local shop. I know the owner. She was willing to give me a little bit of a deal. These bottles are a little more pricey, but doing, 1 or 2 for the evening was fine. If I was going to do a make and take, I would certainly go somewhere like Amazon or a larger retailer. So you do want to leave just a tiny bit of room, kind of at the base of the neck of your bottle. Especially if you plan on shipping these, because if you ship them, most likely they will end up on an airplane where things expand and contract and do all kinds of funny things in the air. That's it. Very simple. I'm sorry? Why don't you stand up, honey, and say it a little louder. If that's what you prefer to use, then go ahead and use it. There again, I'm not going to pop up at your kitchen window. And, I want these really to be a baseline for you. Just, get your feet wet. Make it one time, per the recipe. Taste it. See what the texture's like, the smells like, things like that. And then go on from there. Honey, glycerin, yacon syrup, maple syrup. There's a lot of different options that you can go right ahead and feel free to use. Okay? Whatever you use, I want you to be happy with it. We are so stinking blessed, y'all, to live somewhere where we have this overabundance of so much food we don't even know what to do with it. We look at these 2 charities tonight that we are all helping, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to preach here for a minute. As a mom especially, watching some of the stuff that Danette was sending back from Haiti, and I buried my tissues. As a mom, I can't even begin to imagine doing things like tying my baby to a heavy enough chair so I can go out hunting in a garbage dump for food. Because that was part of what she shared. And so when she asked me to do this class, and I started a while back, in the recent months, working on some really intentional business building goals. My coach, Jill Helwig, if you know her, love her. She said to me, when you get to where you can do things for other people, what do you want to do? And like that, I said, help children. I come from a pretty crummy background myself, so helping kids is a big deal. And then I'm watching what Danette is sending back, preparing to do this at the same time. And And the Lord has most definitely put me here to feed people. I'm 40 years old. I've, 25 years in here, so it's kind of my thing. And I went, wow. At first I said, can we take donations that go directly to the orphanage that you were at? And she said, hey, well, let me tell you about Feed My Starving Children, where we can have an even bigger impact. And they help that orphanage, and they help so many others. The Lord leads you where you need to be. There is no reason for every single one of you in this room to not be happy with what you're eating. So if you want to tweak it, tweak away. Please, please, for God's sake, tweak away. And just say a little prayer at the end of your day, thanking the good Lord that you're where you're at. So I'm going to stop preaching now. I get a little passionate. So, moving right along. How about another prize? Yeah, prize? No, hey, we don't have to do prizes. I don't. All right, so this time, and I'm going to make y'all work for this one just a little bit more, because what I've put together, I put all these together. I love Christmas. Love me some Christmas. And now that we have a baby, whoo, I've been buying Christmas presents for months, y'all. So what I did was made up a bottle of the Tea Time Agave Nectar that's in here. You've got some Sleek Tea. You've got some Tea Forte teas. If y'all have never heard of them and you are a tea drinker, you are missing out. Oh, they've got a lot of organic teas too. Love Tea Forte teas. And then, and my book is in here, and then I chose a cup and saucer set that is antique English bone china from my own private collection and put in here. So, because you gotta, it's a good question. But you gotta have a good teacup if you're gonna have a cup of tea. I'm a tea drinker, so. Right, Christy? Every day, girl, every day. I love that post. So here's the question. Show of hands, please. Name 3, compliantly, name 3 therapeutic qualities of these EOs in this recipe, one quality for each, without using the same answer twice. That was quick.
So each one,
each one therapeutic quality, not the same thing twice.
Okay. So lemon essential oil supports healthy pH.
Keep going.
Orange essential oil supports healthy detox pathways. And bergamot essential oil supports an uplifting mood.
Very good. What's your name? It's nice to meet you, Cindy. Fantastic. Good job. Enjoy your tea. All right. I love it. Love it. Wow. I knew I was going to be working with a smart bunch tonight. So we're going to take a second here. Let this heat up. Because the next recipe that we're going to move on to is going to be a little more complicated, but not much. You're all completely capable. So don't feel, and I mean this when I say don't feel intimidated at all. The chocolate bark that you were all given when you came in. How many of you liked it? Show of hands. My work here is done. I will tell you a couple of things about this. Back to that secondary disclaimer slide. As a mom, I had developed this recipe and I made a batch at home, and then when it came time to make enough for all of you, I set a land speed record in doing it because I had somebody that could take care of Maddox for a little while. So start to finish, got that done. But as a tired mom, I screwed up my own recipe. So if your chocolate was a little softer than you would have normally expected tonight, it's because instead of adding 2 teaspoons of coconut oil, I added 2 tablespoons per batch. Tasted great. And normally my red self, pre-mom, would have had a meltdown over that. But I've been using a lot of oils and doing a lot of work. And I went, I can go nuts, or I can just say, you know what, it's okay. Because we don't have to be perfect, right? Who would I be if I'm up here, losing my mind, and I'm trying to tell you not to be a perfectionist? That's the Lord at work, I'm telling y'all right now. So, Confessions of a Mom. What's that? Oh, girl, I've got a few books I could write. Some New York Times bestsellers, I'm sure. So we're going to... All right. And I do have a gas burner. Chefs prefer gas. It's more even and gentle and all that good stuff, but I thought it would be better to go with electric tonight. We don't... Yeah, let's just be on the safe side. So it'll take just a couple of minutes to get that warm. So in the meantime, we'll get out all of our ingredients. So in this recipe, I used allergen-free chocolate chips. There's Enjoy Life, which most of you are probably familiar with at this point. And lady in the black, you did raise your hand for a question. What was your question, honey? Pepita. Toasted shelled pumpkin seeds. You're welcome. Oh, okay. What is a pepitas? Pumpkin seeds. Let's see. Here we go. You can. Organic, roasted, salted. I chose roasted, salted. You get a little more nutty flavor from them, and you get a little bit of saltiness with the chocolate and the apricots and all of that. So, speaking of apricots.
Favorite source?
Not necessarily. Just go with organic, the best quality that's available to you. Where is Paula? Paula's still out there? Because my apricots are out in the cooler. Can you have her grab my apricots for me, please? So I did use unsulfured organic apricots. You do need to keep them chilled. It's the biggest reason that you want to keep this once it's prepared in the refrigerator. That and here living in Texas, even this time of year, gets a little warmer than we're accustomed to on some days, so you want it to stay nice and firm, but let's see here. I will also tell you that when I originally was developing a chocolate recipe, I wanted to get you comfortable with oils that you might not normally use. I mean, everybody uses lemon, right? We're so familiar with lemon. My original idea was to pair up cardamom with chocolate. It's a pretty typical pairing in some cultures. But I was doing what I do. I was playing in the kitchen, and I started pulling things out. Come on up here, honey. You're fine. I started pulling things out, and I will often, thank you so much, put a couple of different, or 2 or 3 different things kind of under my nose at once and kind of swirl them around and smell and see how do they work. How do they work together? And it turns out coriander and chocolate, as you now know, works. In all my years, I have never heard of anyone pairing coriander and chocolate together. I went so far as to get on good old Pinterest and put in coriander and chocolate, and there were 4 recipes. I'm feeling like a culinary goddess. I love new things. And this is part of what I love about food and cooking is it never ends, you know. You can be all kinds of creative. You know, do what works for you. So, we've got our coriander. We've got our tangerine.
Just the other we had read that coriander promotes a healthy blood sugar, so that's good. In this recipe.
It does. It most certainly does. I found out while I was very pregnant that, and I had some respiratory, kind of moderate respiratory issues going on, that it was a very good thing for me to use as a pregnant woman for my respiratory support. And it was interesting there again, the Lord. The Lord. I got my first bottle. It was sitting on my nightstand. I'm thinking, what am I going to do with this? I hadn't even opened it yet. And in the middle of the night, when I'm literally having to sit up in bed as a pregnant woman to sleep, because that's fun, I pull up my ORD and start looking at coriander. And wow. I immediately went downstairs, got some hot water, a big old dollop of my honey, and a drop of that, and it was magical. Absolutely magical. It's good for all kinds of stuff. So, see how this is coming. Try not to pick things up with your bare hands. I do it because I'm accustomed to it. You might want to grab a towel. You also might want to keep lavender very, very handy in your kitchen. It works. Sounds like you speak from experience. So that's starting to come along. We'll just need another moment there. I'm going to tell you something about doing chocolate work in a double boiler setting. Keep your heat low. Be a little patient and let that get to where it needs to be. Because what can happen is once that steam comes up the sides, it's going to roll in on your chocolate, and it's going to cause your chocolate to do what they call seizing. It's going to get all grainy and nasty and clumpy and ruin your chocolate. So be gentle with that. Give that 1 minute.
So please kindergarten it down so people who don't cook. Does that mean medium heat and not
low?
Water?
Low heat, and you want a low simmer. Okay?
So Mary, you're not supposed to microwave it?
You have my coaching order form on your seat. So you get your coconut oil going in there. And now you can do this one of two ways. I am going to show you the way I do it. So you get your coconut oil starting to melt, and then you're going to add in your essential oils. In the recipe that I prepared for you tonight, I went heavy. So I did 7 drops of the coriander, 6 drops of the tangerine. If that was a little too much for you, dial it back a little bit. Okay? Thank you so much. So, yes? What size is the cookie sheet? Is that what you're asking? This one's a standard, what is this? So 12 by 17. 12 by 17, Calphalon. This pair is brand new for this class, but I have several of them at home. I prefer these nice Calphalon ones. They've got a really good weight to them, which is going, turn that right down. The weight of them is going to help to insulate whatever you're putting on there, especially if you're like baking cookies or something. A thinner, darker sheet is going to cook your stuff faster. You're welcome. You're already trying to figure out how to get out of here? I'm going to go hop on some oils in the corner now. I'm done. You're up, Jeanette. 6 drops of tangerine. Oh, my word. Never a dull moment. All right, so here's those apricots. All right, we've got that heat dialed back. No more steam coming up the sides. So now I'm going to add that chocolate in there. This comes together very quickly, all in all. Stir your oils around in your chocolate a little bit. Chocolate will melt fairly quickly. Now, if you don't want to put these particular toppings on, there again, choose what you like. There's all kinds of dried fruits that would work with this. There's all kinds of, if you want nuts, you know, instead of the pepitas, I wanted this to cover a large group, and I know a lot of us have different issues that we deal with, so I didn't want anyone to miss out. But if you want nuts, go nuts. If you want to use some sweetened coconut, go right ahead. What's that? What's that? Thank you. Yeah, this is one of these things. It is a really sweet treat. It's really pretty healthy. You don't have to feel guilty about it. You know, how many of us spend so much time feeling guilty about having something kind of indulgent? It's just, but it really doesn't have to be that way. And there's so many recipes coming out now that are much healthier. You can still end up quite satisfied, but much better off. Okay, I'll let that go for just a moment. You don't want to stir too much because that will actually cool down whatever you're making. And while we're giving that a moment, how about we do another giveaway? Sound good? How's that for killing time? Show of hands, compliantly please. What is one therapeutic property of coriander essential oil? You did. You did. In the black.
It is good after a long day for rest and relaxation.
I'm sorry, I couldn't quite hear you.
Good after a long day for rest and relaxation.
It's good after a long day of rest, for rest and relaxation. Yes. I will take that. So your prize is, it's here. It is 5 copies of my book. So it's 5 copies bundled up nicely. Yes, honey.
So coriander is the same for
It comes from the same, it's the seed of the plant. It comes from the same plant. No. She's asking if coriander and cilantro are the same thing and can you use it the same way? The answer is, short answer is no and no. It's the seed of the plant. They have very, very different flavor profiles. So no, you can't substitute one for the other. You're welcome. Well, yeah, you can. Yeah. You go ahead and let me know how that works out. Woo, I'll be getting I'll be getting that all caps PM in the middle of the night. You told me. No. So this is almost done. We got just a couple more little chunks in there. When it gets to the point where it is now, where you see just a few little chunks of chocolate in there, go ahead and shut your heat right off. You're going to have enough gentle heat left in the bottom of your double boiler to get you where you need to be. You want to be gentle with chocolates. Sure. What's your question?
The chocolate chips versus the powder, what makes you choose a chip over cocoa powder?
More ingredients, effectively. So cocoa powder doesn't have cocoa butter in it. And if you use a commercial chocolate, then there's even more ingredients. There's things like soy lecithin as an emulsifier, things like that. Does that answer your question okay? Okay. So. Yeah, cleaner eating. Yeah, that's very typical French. They're very clean eaters, and they're known for drinking lots of wine and eating butter and eggs and cheese and all these things. And typically Americans are like, whoa, how do they do that? But their foods are very, very clean. A lot of the chemicals that we allow here, their government doesn't even begin to allow. Their foods are very pure, farm raised, local, purveyors produce for them. It's a whole different lifestyle. It is wonderful. If you ever get to go on an eating tour through France, do it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I pour this, and of course in the back you can't see, but I pour this kind of in a long rectangular pool in the middle, fairly even and deep, because you're going to spread it out to the appropriate thickness. If you want it to be a little thicker, go ahead. If you want it to be a little thinner, fine. There again, it's a personal preference. Offset spatula. I don't know if y'all can see this. Love these. Common tool for chefs. Chefs are not gadgety people. That is part of what I would teach you if you were to hire me for your kitchen reorg coaching. So I will help you find the tools that you really do need and become familiar with them and get rid of a lot of stuff you don't need. What's that?
Where did you get your stuff?
I will even haul them away for you if you do that coaching with me. I'm sorry, what was that?
What is the brand and where did you get your double boiler? I've been looking for one exactly like that for ages.
Calphalon. I'm a big fan of the higher end Calphalon. Yeah, the anodized. According to, I have an uncle who was a metallurgist, an engineer. He says that unless you get to some really high temperatures that you'd never cook at with this particular type of cookware, you don't have to worry about a lot of the metal coming off into your food like a lot of other pots and pans. So that's what I currently use. What's that? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. You should buy some. They're fantastic.
Can you hold that?
I can. As soon as I'm like, oh, I knew it was coming from somewhere. So chocolate will stain. There's a lot of other ingredients I wouldn't be so finicky about getting off myself, but chocolate does stain. So what I'm going to do is just spread this, and it doesn't have to be, a perfect shape or anything. You just want to get it to an even thickness. And there again, y'all had some of this tonight, so okay. roughly how thick you should have it. Okay. Yes.
Would it work to mix the fruit in ahead of time?
You're a girl after my own heart, honey. Yeah, and I did it for another batch at home. So what I did is, yes, you can take all these ingredients, mix them in. This isn't quite enough for this amount of chocolate, in my opinion. So what I did was I took another handful of the pepitas. I also dug out my bag of dried Young Living wolfberries and got a nice big handful of those, and a little bit more toasted coconut, and just kind of beefed up my ingredients. Swirled them around, and then just by spoonfuls put them on the paper and stuck them in the fridge for a little while. So, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I want to pass this around the room. I'll do it quick, so because it is going to run a little bit. But you want to cover about 2/3, maybe a little bit more of your surface area of your paper. You can use either parchment paper or wax paper. Either one will work. But get that to a nice area. Nice thickness. Started with my apricots first. These are nice and sticky, so you want to kind of take a few at a time. You don't want too much of a handful because you're going to have to kind of unstick the chunks a little bit here as you go. You want to get your toppings pretty even. You know, when somebody takes a bite, you want them to get a piece of the apricot, a pepitas or two, a chunk of coconut. You want them to get a little bit of everything in a bite. Make sure you get your edges too. Don't forget your edges. It's kind of a common thing to do, really. These are super sticky. Just a little thieves cleaner on a rag. That, in fact, is the bottle that normally sits next to my kitchen sink. My poor husband is probably wondering where the thieves cleaner is while I'm here tonight. He'll be all right. Okay. Next, your pepitas or nuts or whatever you want. You kind of want a range of flavors with this. A little salty, a little nutty, a little crunchy, a little sweet with the dried fruit. Toasted coconut, in my opinion, is always nice. I'm a big fan of coconut. I've got these nice big chunks. If you want a finer shredded coconut, that's fine too. So this will be something that does need to set up in the fridge. Half hour, 45 minutes, not very long. If you're going to do a make and take based off of these recipes, it might be the recipe that you go ahead and do is a treat for everyone, and then have them do the more simple recipes. Just a thought. Certainly up to you. Then take this, pat that down just a little, just to make sure that some of those larger chunks stick in there. So you want everything all bound up nice together. And that's it. Just stick it in the fridge. Give it that time to set up. When it's done, it'll very easily come right up off that paper, break it into nice big chunks, throw it into a tin for somebody special that you know who loves citrus in their chocolate. Wink, wink. She's on her phone. I've lost her. Really gotten on a kick because of you lately. Citrus and chocolate. It's all Danette's fault. All right, well, I think I've got that up pretty good. Okay, moving right along. Now we're going to go on to my Italian herb olive oil. This is, oh wow, there are so many possibilities for this. This recipe was actually based off of an earlier recipe that I did for, the last time I was here, which was a long time ago. But for my first class, I did an Italian herb and garlic olive oil that you can, and you certainly could with this recipe as well, if you want to substitute equal part of grass-fed organic butter for the olive oil. So you can do what is called a compound butter. Feel free to do that. And that all stemmed from me once again playing in the kitchen. I made up that Italian herb and garlic compound butter because I had a whole organic chicken that I wanted to roast. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And what I ended up doing with it was taking that butter, dividing it in thirds, coating that raw chicken under the skin and outside, all good. Nice sprinkle of some salt and pepper. Roasted it halfway through that roasting, pulled it out. Second part of that 2/3 of that butter, or and then when I pulled the chicken out, right before I cut it up, I put the last third of the butter on. So it was like a finishing touch to that. No, you can't. Not in my opinion. And that came out lovely. My entire house smelled like an Italian herb garden. It was pretty nice. So that's an idea, wink, wink. Feel free to use that. So I know this looks like a lot of oils, however it's not. I'll address that shortly. So I've got another slide coming here. But equal parts. So here you've got 8.5 ounces of organic olive oil. So you do 8.5 ounces of butter. Yep, it's equal. If you want to go ahead too, if you're doing that butter, you don't want to put the garlic, the fresh garlic in here now because this is going to sit around for however long. If you want to do the compound butter because that's going to be refrigerated and used up probably more quickly, then go ahead, add 2 or 3 or 4 cloves of minced up fresh garlic to this, a little sprinkle of salt, or use salted butter, either way. It'll be good stuff. I promise you. All right, so 250 milliliter bottle, which is 8.5 ounces. I've got a 2-cup measuring cup up here. Let's pull this out. Just your standard glass Pyrex. It's nice to have a little spout on there for when you want to put it in the bottle. And we're going to start with our basil. 7 drops of basil. 7 drops. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Five drops of rosemary. This one's a little thicker. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Simple. At this point too, I start putting them in now like this, because if you really overdo it with an oil, you can either find another way to repurpose what's in here, or you can scrap it. Like you could always throw some Epsom salts in there, things like that. Basil and rosemary are really actually nice for muscular discomfort in a bath. Let's see, 3 drops of oregano. Speaking of discomfort, I just got oregano on my finger. Get rid of that. Yeah. I'll leave that right there. Thyme. 3 drops of thyme oil. Hey, what y'all do with this at home is really none of my business. And we've got 3 drops of our black pepper. 2 and 3. Love, love black pepper oil. Boy, is that good stuff. Black pepper in small quantities is actually used as a flavor enhancer in many, many dishes. And honestly, the single biggest thing I love about it is I don't have to stand there with a pepper grinder, forever. I can just pull out that little bottle, put in a couple, 2, 3 drops to whatever I'm making, and be on my way. Now, if you're also not familiar with issues with olive oil, then I will share with you a little bit about olive oil. Purity in olive oil is like dealing with purity in essential oils. Often what you're told is olive oil is not olive oil. Is a regular daily kind of go-to source. I like California olive oil. It's easy. You could find this like everywhere. It's organic. It is olive oil. You've really got to read labels. You should do that with everything you consume. But there's currently not a governing body for olive oils like there is, say, for balsamic vinegars. Okay, but there are some indicators you can find on the label. Like this one says, they talk right about how pure it is because they're proud of their purity, as they should be. So you want to make sure that you're using nice pure olive oil. Yes?
Is there a way to know when it's past its prime by tasting it or smelling it?
Yeah, it'll have that rancid smell and flavor. You shouldn't even have to taste it. You can smell it. Olive oil should have a fruity, little bit of a peppery type quality to it, but it does have a very distinct rancid smell and flavor to it once it's passed. So you want to keep it, in your pantry, away from heat, away from light. Store your olive oil like you would store your essential oils. It'll be just fine. Well, there is that too. Girl, I think I'm going to give this bottle to Jim and Danette to take home. Apparently they need a couple of raindrops or something in their house. Yes, somebody. Whoo, the spiders. Oh, no. God bless you, Jim Goodyear. You are such a good sport. Dirty carp? Or muddy carp, it was, right? Oh, no. It's funny. I have a brother-in-law, my husband's middle brother, his wife, and 3 beautiful, beautiful boys who just a couple of months ago moved to Ho Chi Minh City from Kuala Lumpur. He works for an oil company there. Oh man, some of the stuff those people eat is, I'm not eating that. It makes me proud to be an American. No.
But there's an oil for that.
There's the to get me to eat it? No.
No, for afterwards.
Yeah, there is. There is. Yeah. So, oh, yeah, no. Mm-mm. And I'm very well traveled, and I will tell you the first thing that I do when I go to travel somewhere new is I make a list of all the places I'm going to eat, and I really try to embrace the local culture. And I've eaten some stuff that's pretty out in left field, but I have limits. Fried tarantulas, I'm drawing the line. A bottom-feeding fish, no. All right, so that is Italian herb olive oil, and probably a little too much information. It's there for you, Danette. You can take that home with you. You're welcome. Oh my goodness, where are we? So, I wanted to do a little educating here, beyond just the recipes. So, the number one most asked question I get this all the time, is what is the substitution ratio for vitality oils in place of my traditional flavoring, seasonings, what have you? And this goes back to what I said a moment ago with the amount of oils in this recipe. You have to think a little different when it comes to applying these. Because, we all know about diluting our oils. That's in a whole bunch of a carrier oil. That's a lot of oil. So now it's diluted, right? It's not like adding 7 drops of basil or 3 drops of oregano to a pot of tomato sauce, where there's little to no fat to soften your oils, if you will. Does that make sense? So you have to consider how much fat is in any given recipe that you're preparing when it comes to how much of your oils you want to add or not add. The other part of that is using, like lemon. I chose lemon. Lemon, lime, what have you, oil in place of the juice. You can't substitute one for the other necessarily. You can use your lemon to further enhance a recipe where you're already using some lemon juice. You can use it, say, in place of your lemon zest, not your juice, because your juice has acid. Your vitality oil does not. So you might need that acid in the recipe to get you where you want to be in the end. Does that make sense? Okay. Any questions? Yes?
How much zest per 1 drop of?
How much zest to 1 drop of lemon lemon vitality oil? Usually about 1. 1 teaspoon, 1 teaspoon per drop is about where I operate, yeah. We use a lot of lemon in my house. Big fans. Love our citrus. And then I also wanted to give you just kind of a little bit of a list where you can use these. Where I use them, certainly. I sat down and I started to reflect, as I do a lot, where and how have I used these. So, enhancing condiments, butters, making your compound butters. There is a compound butter recipe in this book. It is a garlic, lemon, pepper compound butter. I've posted about that before in the Splash group when I did some filet mignon on the grill. Simply took a pat of that butter, put it on the top when the steak was resting, just to take it up a notch. Sweet and savory batters, whether they're grain-free, gluten-free, whatever kind of batters they are. You've got cake, muffin, brownie, peppermint brownies. We all know and love our peppermint brownies. All kinds of different beverages. When it does come to adding something where you don't have a fat, you'll see there, like I put add to honey or your agave, something like that. You don't want to just drop the drops on top of your hot non-fat liquids because they'll just float on top. Soup, stews, well, there again, just a week or two, couple weeks ago I think it was now. I posted my oily beef stew recipe in that Splash group. How many people here are in Splash Wild Lifestyle? Pretty. Ooh, we need to add some members. Yeah, y'all need to be in there for sure. I have the honor and blessing of being kind of the main culinary contributor to that group. So you'll find quite a few recipes from me in there. There are some other recipes as well from other leaders and things that are quite good.
Just made your tarragon turkey salad yesterday.
Oh, you did? I'm so happy to hear that. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Chicken instead of the turkey.
That's okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's in there as well. I did a tarragon turkey salad recipe. My husband's a big turkey fan, so we've always got lots, and I had to use some up. So that was born. But there's all these different ways that you can use these. There's many, many, many more than this. It's really wherever your creativity takes you. Yes?
If you were making like a super stew, what would you add the oil to?
So normally what I do is I add them at the end. That's a great question. When you get into... The question was, when you make a super stew, when do you add the oils? I usually add them at the end as a finisher. When you get into higher temperature cooking, like grilling, there again I have a few recipes in the group for marinades. With those, the heat, the higher it gets, it tends to diminish the flavor of your oils. Every oil has a different smoke point, so it happens at a different point for all of them. However, the higher you go, it does occur. So what I do in cases like that is whatever marinade that you've prepared, right off the top, take a couple, 2-3 tablespoons, set it aside, take your meat, your vegetables, whatever you're going to marinate in there, put that in, go ahead, cook your stuff up. When you have your meat at the point where it's resting, then you do a final basting before you cut it up, prepare it, plate it, whatever you're going to do. And that'll get you the right flavor profile. Sound good? Yes. You bake bread? Absolutely. Oh, yes. Yeah, she bakes bread, and she was asking, is it possible to add these oils to bread? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can, there again, your creativity, you just, go crazy. It depends. It depends on the recipe. I will tell you this. If you were to private message me, send me the recipe, not in the middle of when you're preparing it, please. Because I'm a mom and a wife and an entrepreneur, so it might take me a little while to get back to you. But if you want to send me over the recipe, I can generally look at it because of my experience and at least give you a starting point to where you could start with it. So I'm happy to do that for you, for any one of you. Yes. Hi, honey. How are you?
You mentioned during your spiel that you don't like the toothpick and twirl method, and I'm curious because
I don't.
oregano and spaghetti sauce. I've done the full drop and
And I've heard that before.
are you comfortable in your recipe?
So, yes, in my defense, oregano and sauce. So, wow, I got to give you the short answer because there's a good long answer I could give you. But yeah, when I prepare sauce, and I grew up surrounded by Italians. I actually started in Italian restaurants. I can do legit Italian, y'all. I do a huge, for you soon, I miss you, girl. I do a huge batch of sauce. And then what I end up doing is I parse it out and I freeze. So yeah, I do a lot. Probably, in all seriousness, probably double to triple what the average person would do. I also have a bit of fat in my sauce because I have a specific source where I get really good Italian sausage, and I make some pretty legit meatballs and things like that are all in there too. And so the fat comes off of that and helps there as well. So if you're doing like a straight marinara where you might have a little bit of olive oil, then you got to take that into account too. Good? Are we good? All right, where is my time at? And so we have one more prize to give away, and we're going to wrap this up because well, I've got one more, and we can work on those too. Let's go down the line. I've got two more. Goodness. Okay. Here's a good one. This is not a therapeutic question. Black pepper, and this is for the pasta basket. Black pepper historically is referred to the blank of blank.
The ultimate of spices.
No? I'm sorry? It's referred to historically as the blank of blank.
The king of spices.
It is. The king of spices.
I totally Googled it.
Well, what's your name, honey? Angela. Way to Google, Angela. Okay, and then I have one more of these up here. Actually, we could. Let's see. Okay. So this is, and I didn't prepare this for you tonight, but what's in here is a bottle of the other infused olive oil recipe in here that is a lemon and dill. Great over fish, fresh veggies, things like that. What specific organ does dill vitality oil support that is also supported by coriander vitality oil? Yeah. Pancreas. You're welcome. Enjoy. All right. And are you going to get up here and do these with me? Do you have questions? I have questions. Or do you want to? Questions. Do you have questions here? No, go ahead. I can just make up some questions. All righty.
We can do one. Who's the newest member here?
Yeah, we should do some.
Who's been with Young Living for a month? A month? 2 do you? Excellent. More? 3? How about 2 weeks? 3 weeks? Okay, October what? October 3rd? Yes? 11? Anyone? I'm going to give you both. I'm cornbread. Welcome to Young Living. Yes. Your last stop.
We definitely have to do a who came the farthest too, because, to come.
Yeah. Who came the furthest? 2 hours. Yes. 3 hours. 4 hours. Just down at 4. 4 hours? How many hours? 4. Awesome. And you two? From where? From France? I'm going to give you both something. Let's see. What's best for France? I don't want to give you something that came from France, which is this. But these will probably be best in your luggage. So these are our organic dried wolfberries, our Ningxia wolfberries. They are delicious. Welcome. Merci beaucoup. And 4 hours. I have some waffle and pancake mix, our einkorn. It's delicious. All right, you have a question? You have a question? Oh, is it up here?
No, let's go. That's all right. We'll just put that up there for a minute. Just wanted to round it out. Oh, let's see. Ooh, back to my recipes. Since so many of you seem to be familiar with me, and you know I like compound butters, who remembers my first compound butter recipe? It was in this class. It is posted in Splash Wild Lifestyle along with my own page. It's posted in a few places. Does anybody remember?
Butter and vitality oils. Good guess.
It was initial wolfberries, the wolfberry juice.
And citrus. Yeah, I'll give it to you. That's good. It was my Ningxia Wolfberry Citrus Compound Butter. Great on muffins, pancakes, quick breads, you name it.
All right, I like that.
So,
Okay, what's that?
all right,
2 more questions.
2 more questions. What do I got? I'm out of questions.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Anybody birthday today? Yesterday? Yes? Greggy! Do you have
Happy
this? Do you have
birthday.
this book? Greg, do you have this book? Yes. You don't have syrup, though. I know you don't have syrup. Ningxia Wolfberry syrup. Happy birthday, buddy. All right. And anybody's birthday tomorrow?
Okay. Awesome.
Monday? Yes? You are getting Gary's Ancient Einkorn, Today's Staff of Life. So this Hybrid Grains, GMOs, and Chemicals, Truth or Consequences, it is the best book because you will understand why he was so passionate about growing einkorn and getting einkorn to us as a healthy grain, because there's hardly any healthy grains out there, right?
True.
Just today, Mercola was like the very worst cereals, right? Cheerios and Quaker Oats, like the very worst things. Like, what was it, number 2 or number 3 ingredient should be glycophosphate. You know what that is, right? Roundup?
Yeah.
That should be the number 2 or number 3 ingredient on Cheerios. It is? No, it should be.
It should be, but it's not.
If they actually listed toxins in there. So that is why it's so important. That is why Gary was so fervent. That's why we have in France, one of our great farms, there is where our einkorn is grown, as well as Tabiona in Utah. And we have some amazing einkorn things. So
we do.
Yes, so give away.
Are you done with your prizes?
Done.
Okay, one more prize. Who can tell me which 2 countries Jim just went to? There you go. That is the tea time agave nectar.
Okay, so this is the drawing. Are you ready for that?
Yes.
For the 2-hour consultation? So you talk about that and draw.
Come here, Lana. Yeah, you. Get up here, girlfriend. Sitting there all quiet and humble-like. You get to choose. No pressure.
1. Does everybody have a 1 starting with? Okay, 1. So there's 2 1s. Let's start over. Good. 1 1 8 0 8. Who's close? Nobody's got their took it out. So left. Wait, 1 1 8 0 8 7.
Buckle up, Christy. Look at that.
Can I tell your orange chicken story? Sure. So I'm going to totally embarrass you, but I'm going to tell you how much she needs you.
Oh boy.
She said, her family, one night her family comes in, she's like, she's asking her daughter, do you want chicken or orange chicken? And she's like, Mom, you made orange chicken? She's like, do you want orange chicken or chicken? And she said, orange chicken. So she goes and slices up an orange and puts it on top of the chicken and called that orange chicken, and it was done. And she was like, but that's not orange chicken. And then Jake said, well, where's the side? It's not a meal of the side. She's like, the orange is the side.
Oh boy.
So I'm just saying, you're well needed at the Dempsey household.
At the Dempsey household,
yeah,
I see. We might have to spend a little more time together than I initially thought. It's okay. You have other strengths and talents, honey. You be proud of yourself.
Yes,
I'll help you with your chicken.
Yes. So good. Are we good?
Oh my goodness. We are so good.
Great.
Thank you.
We just thank you so much. Thank you, Mary. Super great. So you guys feel confident, like you can use your Vitality oils if you haven't been using them much in the kitchen, right? And you know it's the same oil in a bottle, right?
Yeah, wink,
whether it's Vitality or not. But we're going to talk about it as Vitality oils, but use what you have. So speaking of that, let's talk about our promos for the month of November, because who is excited about those? Oh my gosh. So at the 100 PV level, when you are on Essential Rewards, we get one of our best fall oils, and that is our Nutmeg Vitality Oil, right? So delicious. Delicious. We're going to be posting. Hey, if you're not in that Splash YL Lifestyle group, jump in that. It's Splash, like Splash, exclamation point, YL Lifestyle. So ask to be a member in there. We do a lot of education on products in there. So do that, because I just talked about all these things last week. On the first of every month, I do a Facebook Live that we talk about the promos and how to use all the oils. So the second thing at the 190 PV level, if you are on Essential Rewards, it is the Northern Lights Black Spruce. Who loves that?
One of my favorites.
That's from our great farm in Canada in British Columbia. And then also, whether it's a quick order or Essential Rewards, you get a 15 ml big old bottle, what you've been smelling tonight, Christmas Spirit. So one of my favorites to diffuse. And you can't even buy the 15 ml right now. You could only buy the 5 ml, right? But you can get the 15 ml for free. Deal. At the 250 level, you get a 5 ml bottle of myrrh, right? Who loves myrrh? If it's good enough for Jesus, good enough for me. Just saying, right? So, and if it's good enough for Mary's skin looking like her skin looks like, I'm just
40.
saying. Well, no, I was thinking
Mary Young.
I was thinking Mary Young, so add 30 years on.
I had a salesman call me Miss yesterday, and I was like, you are my new best friend.
That's right. So it is an amazing thing. It is your magic oil.
It is magic.
Magic oil. And then at the 300 PV oil, we have this beautiful glass ornament. Last year we got some beautiful ones that were so cute. This one's like triple the size.
It's huge.
And they have a flat point, so you can actually set it on a table. And instead of kind of holiday motif on it, I think last year there were maybe snowflakes. And this year it's beautiful lavender etchings of lavender plant on it. And so you can use it year round, right? Isn't that nice? And then you also get with that sacred frankincense oil, because if it's good enough for Jesus, twice good enough for. And at the 400 PV oil or level, this one right here, I don't know why that's so blurry, but it's higher unity. Never heard of this oil before, totally brand new, can't buy it. Only at the 400 PV level. And that means you could get it twice, right? On Essential Rewards as well as a quick order, yes? And 4 times if your spouse, that's right, if your spouse is, that's right, exactly right. I'll be having 4 bottles of that, baby. But you know what? If they were to sell it, it actually it would retail for $171, that 1 5 ml bottle. Because it has rose oil in it, it has jasmine oil in it, it is hugely valuable. Sacred sandalwood, sacred frankincense, all in there. So you just named all the oils I love for my face, so I think it's just going to be my new face oil.
Right?
Until I convince them to keep it. Yeah, okay. So we are thrilled about that, and I want to make sure that you guys know we are going to get started on our movie night.